Are you struggling with weight loss and want some simple tips to help you lose some of that COVID weight? If so, then stick around. Hey gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Cris Fox Fashion. Today, I want to show you some tips that'll help you portion your food so you can lose some of that COVID weight. I don't know about you, but the last couple of weeks have not been great for me because I've been eating a lot more, not working out as much, so I've gained more weight than what I would like. Ideally, I want to get back to where I was last June because last June I felt fantastic. I was slimmer, I was more muscular, I was more active, and I just felt completely different, and I felt like a completely different person that was someone that was really healthy. So I want to get back to that. And this last week, I've been trying to do that. The reason I kind of gained more weight than what I would have liked was, because, for one thing, I wasn't working out as much. Last week, it was my birthday. I had 2 birthday cakes. That's a whole story. Basically, there's a birthday cake that I really want from this one store, and my family wanted to make sure that I had that, but they weren't sure if it was going to be available. So they got another cake for me just in case. Turns out the other one that I wanted was available, so I ended up with 2 cakes, which was great, but not so great for my body. So today, what I want to show you are 4 simple tips that I've been using for the last week and actually have been using for the past 2 years on my weight loss journey, which I started back in 2018 when I got a personal trainer and I was working out all the time and it was great. So these 4 tips will help you with portion control, which will essentially help you lose that weight so that you can continue to be the most stylish guy in the room and become a true modern gentleman. All right, let's get started. Check the calories. My first tip is very simple and something that you've probably already heard before, and that is just check the calories of whatever you're going to eat. Now, checking the calories seems fairly simple and fairly obvious, but the real trick is to actually look at the amount that they're calculating. So for example, if you're going to have a bag of chips, look at the nutrition information and see how many chips actually equals the calorie that they're giving you. So for example, it might say it's 270 calories per every 10 or 20 chips. And once you have that amount, you can decide 2 things. One, you can decide, is the 270 calories something that I can afford right now? Or should I just, go with maybe a little bit less? Maybe I should just have half of the amount. So instead of having 20 chips, maybe I'll have 10 chips and it'll be a little bit healthier, and it won't, it'll still give me the idea of having chips and give me that satisfaction of eating chips, but it won't be quite as much as having, say, 30 or 40 chips. So that is something to look at and definitely something to consider. But of course, it's not that simple. So this next trick is going to help you do just that. Use small bowls or plates. To help prevent you from eating more than you should be eating or what you actually set out to eat, try using a small bowl or a plate. This can actually help you limit the portion and prevent you from having more. So again, talking about this bag of chips, get a small bowl, take the chips out that you want. So again, maybe take out 10 or 20 chips, seal up your bag, and then put that bag away. And then you can start snacking. And the reason you want to do all that stuff first and put the amount that you want in the bowl and then to put everything away is because that way you're not going to likely eat more than that. And if you do want to eat more than that, you're going to have to go all the way over to the cupboard and get it out again, which is a little bit of a process. So by actually physically putting what you want in the small bowl, you can go, okay, that's what I'm having, and that's what I'm going to eat. Put the bag away so it's not there saying, oh, look at me, I'm so crispy, eat me. And it's not this whole tempting thing. This is something that I've been doing for a long time. It's always helped me, and it's really helped me this past week when I was like, I just want to get into better shape. I can't let this continue because I'm not happy. So definitely try this. It will certainly help you along the way. Slice, dice, wrap, and freeze. This next tip is very useful for something like birthday cake, pies, or any kind of dessert or any kind of thing that you can actually slice. And as I said, A couple of weeks ago was my birthday and I ate a ton of birthday cake. So I, unfortunately polished off the first cake. Not my best action, but I did it anyways because it was good and I didn't want it to go bad. But really I just wanted cake and I didn't want to feel badly about it. So I ate it. It's gone, no big deal. I'm trying to burn off those calories and I feel like I'm doing a lot better. But with the second cake, I wanted to be a little more responsible. So instead of just leaving it in the fridge for me to grab whenever I wanted, I cut all the cake up into small slices and then wrapped those slices up and then put them in my freezer. That way, when I want a piece of cake, I can take out a slice and enjoy it and then not be tempted to go back and get more because, I already had one slice and I don't want to go to that effort. It's also really great because it actually allows you to extend the life of your cake. So instead of eating a whole cake within a week or two, you're actually going to be able to extend it even all the way into maybe a month, which is great because cake isn't cheap and, you really shouldn't be eating that much cake anyways. So it's something that I've been finding to be really helpful. And for myself, what I do is I limit myself to 1 or 2 slices on the weekend, and then during the week, I don't even go near it and I just focus on eating better. And obviously, I'm not saying that you should be eating cake to help you lose weight and to get into better shape, because really cake doesn't help. But if you're like me, then you are not someone who has a Marvel contract who is supposed to look like Thor all the time. And so, you can enjoy some cake, enjoy a dessert, but just make sure you're not eating it all the time. Now, I know even with the slice of cake and freezing it, you might still be tempted to have more cake or more of whatever you've put in the freezer and whatever you're slicing. So this final tip will not only help you with that, but it'll actually help you with the other tips as well. And my final tip for this video is to use Inconvenience. Now, I know this sounds strange because, if it's inconvenient, how is that good? We're all about convenience right now. We want everything to be convenient right at your fingertips. And convenience is great. But one of the reasons that people eat more than they should is because it's there and because it's convenient. As I said, going back to this bag of chips, and I have chips on the mind, so I keep using that as my example. But when you have a bag of chips and it's open, it's right there, you're like, maybe we'll just have 3 or 4 more. What harm can that do? And then you want 3 or 4 more, and then you get more and more and more. And then you realize you've eaten the whole bag in one sitting, and it's kind of embarrassing. So the key to avoid all of that is to use Inconvenience and to make it harder for you to get more of what you want. Now, I, for myself, actually make a lot of use out of my basement freezer. Going back to my cake example, when I sliced up all of my cake, I didn't put it in my freezer up in the kitchen. I actually took the slices of cake down to my basement freezer. So that way, when I wanted a piece of cake, all I do is I go down to the basement, take one out, come back up, and I can enjoy it. And if I want more, I know I have to go all the way down to the basement. Now, this is not like it's a perilous, heroic journey that's impossible to get to the basement, because it's not, it's a basement. But still, it's enough of a journey for me to be like, do I really want to go down all the way down to the basement to get more cake? And usually I'm like, nah, it's good, I'm fine. But the benefit is that even if you do decide to go on that journey, the time that it takes you to get there might actually give you time to reconsider having that other slice, and you might decide by the time you get to the basement that, you know what, I actually don't really want it. And then you'll just go back up and you'll forget about it. Now, I also realize not everyone has a basement and not everyone has 2 freezers. So the trick is to find a location that can store food that is not close to your kitchen or somewhere far enough away that to get to that food, you then have to go on a little bit of a walk. It could be in an apartment, it could be, down a much longer hall or somewhere. But the key is to find a location that is far enough away from your kitchen so that the idea of actually getting more of that food is going to turn you off from doing that, because it's like, do I really want to get up and do all of that? That way you're not going to be having as much food as you normally would have. If you're looking for some more great weight loss or fashion related tips, then check out my videos over here. And if you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.